What's up, you guys? What's up, everybody? Hey, yo. Not true, gang. You were just pushing the Jing agenda days ago. What happened? Alright, yeah, I guess I should clarify. I don't mean that he's a fraud in terms of strength. I actually think he's a lot stronger than people give him credit for. I'm working on a video right now where I talk about some stuff like I don't think I've mentioned in previous videos. Just something I was thinking about earlier today. That makes me think like Jing was stronger than I had him listed at before. And I've already said he's like really strong in other videos. But basically, when I'm saying Jing is a fraud, what I really mean is it's basically this. I just came to the conclusion one day, like this realization dawned on me that pretty much like every major problem in Gon's life right now, you could just blame entirely on Jing, and you have a good argument. Like, you can make a good argument that, like, legitimately every major problem in Gon's life right now is just Jing's fault. So, really, rather than... He's not a fraud in terms of, like, power, but he is just, like, canonically, like, a scumbag, bro. He is just like canonically a scumbag. And I wanted to just make a stream just talking about like why Jing is a scumbag. I did a similar stream for Wing where I was talking about like how Wing held back Gon and Killua when he was training them, and like how he was just kind of a terrible teacher. You could make similar arguments for Jing, right? Like, you could make similar arguments that he's held back Gon too. And I wanted to talk about that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just start talking about it. So, like, this becomes really prevalent when you look at, like, the stuff that happens in Greed Island, and then you look at the stuff that's happening now in the story. So, here, let me explain my points here, and then we can have some discussion about it, all right? So, I wasn't planning on having like a debate on it, but if you guys want to debate, we definitely can. Okay. So here's the thing. In Greed Island, when Gon beats the Greed Island video game, one of the rewards they give him is that he's allowed to pick 3 cards from the Greed Island game and bring them with him to the real world so they can work like in the real world. And if you think about it, Greed Island is like, it's full of a bunch of very useful cards. It has spell cards that can make you stronger. It has crazy stuff in there. And Gon, he turns down all of these like priceless resources just so that he can use a company and go see Jing. Okay, so here's a couple things about it, right? Oh, Ayo, Gio, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. You said it came to me in a dream, a vision of sorts, that Jing might be a bad father. I don't know how, though. Autocorrect was cooking you, you mentioned. Thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it, bro. But yeah, what I was saying is, Gon had the ability to pick 3 cards to bring to the real world. And like he split, what they end up doing is he's like, let's split them between all 3 of us because we all work together to like beat the game, right? But Gon turns down like all of these really valuable cards that could have made him a lot stronger, like a lot better of a hunter, a lot more powerful of a character. He turns down all of them for a card that does nothing for him power-wise. Basically, like what they ended up doing is like Gon and Killua put their cards together and basically like tricked the system into letting them like bring an accompany card out of the game. The accompany card, that was like the fast travel card throughout the Greed Island game. It lets you like travel from one location to a next in a group. So like Gon and Killua put both of their cards together to basically like smuggle an accompany card out, so that way Gon can take him and Killua to go see Jing, right? And, like the big problem here though is Gon's losing out on a lot of potential power, and I'll talk about like one of the spell cards he could have got instead that would have made him like a lot stronger. But in Killua's case, like Killua talks about the cards that he wanted in the left-hand panel. He wanted either like the Fickle Genie or the Risky Dice. Both of those are just cards for gambling. Basically, like one of Killua's character flaws is that he's an actual gambling addict. So it's genuinely for the best that Killua didn't get the cards he wanted, to be completely honest. And then Bisky got like the Blue Planet, which is like a gem. Which is what she entered Greed Island for in the first place. I believe that's what she entered it for. But anyway, yeah, Gon traded all that just so he could bring Killua with him to go see Jing. Oh, but here's like one of the spell cards Gon could have gotten instead, the Eternal Hammer. The Eternal Hammer, it's a weapon from Greed Island, and when you hit somebody with it, they're just hit by a random attack spell from the game. And people cannot defend against it. So basically, it's like, it kind of gives you access to just about every attack spell in all of Greed Island. So like, Gon could have just had this instead, but he ends up like kind of getting nothing out of it, right? But yeah, he uses a company. And Jing sets it up so that he just meets Kite instead. Just because Jing's a scumbag. There's really no reason behind it other than Jing being a scumbag. He just like didn't want to meet Gon's friend. He just wanted to meet Gon only. But yeah, here's the big problem though. Okay, if Jing wasn't like this, Gon and Killua would have met Jing right here, and the entire trajectory of their life would have been very different, right? Because by Jing sending Gon and Killua to Kite, this starts the Chimera Ant arc. This is like why Gon is in the Chimera Ant arc. This is like why Gon sees Kite die. This leads to Gon's crash out, and this leads to the current Gon we have right now, where he basically doesn't have Nen anymore. Essentially, 100% of that is Jing's fault. Essentially, 100% of that is Jing's fault, bro. Like, Gon and Killua being in the Chimera Ant arc, Gon crashing out, Gon going adult Gon mode, almost dying, all of that is because Jing chose to send him to Kite instead. If he didn't do that, Gon and Killua would have went to Jing, had a completely different life experience. Kite probably would have went off to the Chimera Ant arc and died anyway. And all the same events would have happened, but without Gon and Killua. So like this like one selfish decision from Jing like jacked up Gon's life a lot, to be honest. Here's the other thing, right? Here's the other thing. So Gon, his situation with his Nen is weird. Like a simple way to say it is like his Nen is sealed, or maybe his aura nodes are closed, or something weird like that's going on, because Jing said he could see Gon's aura, but Gon can't see it himself. But here's the thing, right? When Gon finally meets Jing, they talk for an entire day. Like it's like still kind of sunny outside when Gon meets him, and then they talk all the way into the night. But Gon doesn't realize that he can't use Nen until afterwards. So what that means is, like, the whole time they were speaking, like, Jing never once like asked Gon to show him any Nen, show him any abilities that he's learned over this journey. It makes me wonder, like, what were they even talking about, bro? What was like was the majority of their discussion just Jing yapping about his life? Gon asking him questions while Jing just yaps about his life. Like, you would think that, like, thinking from Jing's perspective, right? Lil bro over here has dedicated his whole life to becoming a hunter, something that's like more difficult than getting into the NBA in our real world. Becomes extremely successful in it in a very short time frame, and you don't even ask to see his ability at all. You talk to him for a whole day. You don't even ask to, like, you don't even go like, hey bro, what's your Nen type real quick? What Hatsu did you think of? Like nothing like that. Bro just is actually fundamentally a deadbeat, bro. Like, he just actually doesn't really care about this kid. Then when Gon calls him up, he's like, hey, I actually can't I can't use Nen anymore. The advice that Jing gives him is basically, hey man, too bad, just kind of deal with it, bro. Just figure it out on your own. That's more or less what Jing tells him. He more or less tells him, just figure it out on your own. And like, this line of dialogue here from Jing is actually like one of the craziest, most hypocritical statements in the story. He tells Gon, he's like, you fought with the intent to throw everything away and you turned back to normal. You'd be ungrateful if you wanted more, right? But so he's essentially saying, like, you did a bad thing by throwing everything away for your goal. That was a bad thing. You should not have done that. But if you pay attention to Jing, that's literally like the only thing he's ever told Gon to do. Like, basically Gon followed Jing's advice perfectly and he's scolding him for it. Like, the only time Gon ever hears Jing's voice before, like, almost dying was in a recording Jing left where he can't even listen to the recording unless he, like, became a hunter, by the way. So that's another crazy thing. It's like, if Gon didn't essentially win the lottery, he never would have even heard Jing's voice, but that's a separate thing. This audio recording he left for Gon, he says, hunters are a bunch of egomaniacs. We cast aside everything else to get what we want. Okay, so he's like telling him this is what hunters do. But when Gon does that exact same thing, he's like, well, hey man, you shouldn't have done the one thing hunters do, bro. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Like, he's kind of just terrible, bro. Forgiving him, if you just really think about that. Also, Bisky talks about that too. Bisky's like, the message your dad probably was trying to give you in Greed Island is, if you're willing to abandon everything else to see me, grow strong enough to clear this game. So like, that's even like what Bisky thinks, right? So from Bisky's perspective, she's like, yo, your dad is probably telling you to throw everything away in pursuit of your goals, right? Then when Gon himself hears Jing for the only time in his life, he's saying, hey bro, you want to be a hunter? We just throw everything away to get our goals. Then when Gon actually does that, Jing's like, hey man, well, you screwed up. You threw everything away to get your goals. So you just deal with it, all right? The reason why this is so crazy is because Jing probably could have gotten Gon's Nen back anytime during this like whole night they were speaking to each other. Because if all it is that Gon's aura nodes are closed, he could have just reopened them the same way Wing did. Just like hit him with like a blast of aura real quick and then he's just back to normal. But it seems like Jing cared so little that he not only did he not ask him like about his Hatsu ability or anything, he just like genuinely fundamentally did not care like how strong Gon was at all. Like, which is pretty crazy when you know that he literally just he followed his advice perfectly, threw everything away to achieve the goal of finding this dude, and Jing just actually doesn't care. It's pretty wild, bro. And then here's also just like some more dialogue that Jing like told him in the audio, where he's like, it's not gonna be nice to see me. I'm just not a good person. I don't want to see you. Yeah, this is him saying, in the left-hand panel, this is him saying, yeah, I'm just genuinely not a good person, and I'm always going to be that way, all right? And if I hear that you're trying to find me, I'm just gonna leave, bro. Okay, now here's the really crazy thing that like really had me thinking about this, and this is what led me to want to really make this stream. Gon himself, like after Jing basically tells him to go kick rocks and figure out what to do with his life now that he doesn't have Nen, Gon's sitting there and he's like, if I had, this is what the right hand panel says, he's like, if I had been able to use Nen and had felt like how powerful Jing was, I would have wanted to go to the Dark Continent with him, because that's where Jing's going right now. But like, since he couldn't feel Jing's power, Gon just like decided to go to Aunt Mito's house instead. So the crazy thing about that made me really start thinking about this, I realized like if Gon and Killua at the end of Greed Island right here, and he would send him to Kite, and they just actually went to Jing, Gon and Killua would have met Jing right here, and they wouldn't have been in the Chimera Ant arc. They might have trained with Jing or just learned something from Jing the same way that they were like with Kite. It would have just been with Jing instead. They probably would have gotten stronger just from like being around the guy. Netero would have still died in the Chimera Ant arc, and then Jing would have wanted to go to the Dark Continent, and Gon and Killua would have went together. Like, it would have been Gon, Killua, and Jing going to the Dark Continent. Gon would still have his Nen. They'd probably be even stronger. Like, imagine if they had like a small training arc where instead of the Chimera Ant arc, they basically have a Greed Island 2, but it's Gon, Killua, and Jing. Just, I don't know, imagine like how strong they would get just from like being around a top 5 Nen user. Then Netero dies off screen, and they just go to the Dark Continent right after that, because Gon said if he had Aura, he would have wanted to go. And Killua was like following Gon until he found what he wanted to do in his life. So like the whole trajectory of their lives would have been different. You would have had Gon and Killua training with Jing, then going to the Dark Continent like right now. It would be a very different story. Gon and Killua would probably be stronger. And I'd argue that it'd actually be a little more interesting too. Like more interesting from a reading perspective. But instead, right now, we got Gon with no aura. And Killua is just like traveling the world with Aluka. But I think for Killua, that's actually better. That does seem more like a better resolution for Killua, but not as good as one for Gon. Would Killua still remove his needle? It's a good question. I mean, maybe. I don't know. There's just so many unknowns. Like, what kind of stuff would Jing be doing in that time frame, right? I don't know. Like, I'm just imagining it would have just been like an alternate timeline. Anything could have happened. There's a chance Killua wouldn't have removed it. So Killua might actually still be weaker, because like Killua removing his Nen needle more or less led to him developing Godspeed. Because Killua didn't have the Nen needle anymore, he was fighting like much more risky, fighting like a hunter. Like a good example of that is when Killua, he jumps into this cave to kill Ikalgo, even though he knows it's a trap. Like the Nen needle Killua would never do that. And like when he got stuck in that trap, he was like about to die there. And him being in that near-death situation, like, forced him to think of the beginning of Godspeed. So, like, if he still had the Nen needle, he might not have thought of Godspeed. Knuckle and Morel would die. Yeah, probably all of those guys would die. Like, I think if Gon wasn't there, Pito would have lived. Like, so it's interesting to think about how the invasion would have went, right? Like, I think Kite still dies the same way. Probably still dies, like, trying to fight Pito. Or maybe he would have ran away. Maybe he would have been able to escape if he had both arms. It's actually very interesting to think about, like, how the story would be different if Gon and Killua weren't there. Because The reason Kite lost his arm in the beginning was because Gon and Killua were there. He was like protecting them. So maybe Kite would have escaped. But Netero still dying for sure. Like, he's still going to want to 1v1 Meruem and die there. And then all the royal guards are going to die from like rushing to Meruem. I'd say the difference though is Meruem would probably also like absorb Pito as well. So post Rose Meruem would be even stronger for a while. And it's debatable if Knuckle Morel shoot. Well, actually, would they even meet Melioron? Like they met Melioron through Gon. So if Gon and Killua aren't there and they don't have Melioron, the whole palace, like, they're all dying, bro. Morel's dying, Knuckles dying, Shoot's dying. Like, the reason they stayed alive so long was because Melioron was there. Kite would probably live and be part of the invasion squad. There's a chance of that. That would be interesting. But yeah, it would have just been a completely different timeline. Gon would, because like right now, I was just thinking about it. Basically, Gon is in like a worse situation because he just like followed Jing's advice, went on this adventure, did the only thing Jing told him to do, and even though Jing had like plenty of opportunity to help Gon, it would legit would have taken him like 5 seconds during the whole day that they were talking to each other. It just didn't cross his mind because he genuinely doesn't care. Now Gon is just kind of like stuck in this situation where he's just kind of aimless. Like, he doesn't actually know what to do right now. So it's like Gon went from a position of like having bottomless potential and having a ton of ambition, having a lot of stuff like he wanted to achieve, and would have stayed that way if Jing just like let him and Killua meet him at the end of Greed Island. Like honestly, that's what Gon earned, right? Like, he earned the right to see him here. It was just like Jing sent him to Kite for purely selfish reasons, really. If Jing had just like let Gon and Killua meet him right after Greed Island, Gon would be in a way better spot, like objectively way better. He would still like have ambition. He would still, because like what this reveals is and this was also hinted throughout the story too. It's like Gon, he wanted to meet Jing. That was part of like his big goal. But Gon also just like enjoys power, like in a similar way to Hisoka. Him and Hisoka are actually like similar to each other. Where Gon just likes fighting strong people and like enjoys powerful. He respects power, something like that. Like, either he respects it or he just like admires it. And like, he would have just changed. Like, he would have been a different person. He would just have his previous ambition, but just be around Jing. So like, Jing would have a chance to influence him. It would have been very interesting. I think it would have been like, I mean, Jing doesn't actually care about this kid. But if he did, it would be like kind of like a Goku Gohan dynamic. But yeah, I just think to myself, like, that would have been such an interesting storyline, bro. Like, just imagine Gon and Killua with Jing, training with Jing, and then going to the Dark Continent with Jing. That would have been sick. That would have been a very sick arc, bro. But instead, we got Gon doing mathematics. But, yeah, I mean, I wanted to make this stream just a short one. Is there anyone who, like, disagrees with what I'm saying and wants to debate it still? You said you want to meet me, be strong enough to beat Greed Island. Yeah, that is actually a crazy requirement. JB said debate me already. All right, JB, yeah, we can do that. Hold on, let me head over to the Discord. Nah, we would miss out on the Chimera Ant. Yeah, no, the Chimera Ant arc is very good. I'm not gonna lie. But I think an arc with like Gon and Killua with Jing going to the Dark Continent would have been like just as interesting. I think that would have been sick. Give me 1 second, JB. I'm hopping over to the hold up. Hopping over to the Discord. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure how you could defend Jing because, I mean, the other thing is he's like canonically considered like a bad person. That, you know, Togashi said that too. Togashi said that too. Like, there's an interview with Togashi and the author of Tokyo Ghoul when they're talking about, like, the author of Tokyo Ghoul, he wrote a backstory for Hisoka, and there's an interview where they're talking about that, and they were like asking Togashi, like, what was your motivation for writing Jing? And he was basically like, what Togashi said, he was like, well, I thought if Gon's parents were in the story, they would just like get in the way of the story. So I was trying to think of a way to like move his parents out of the story. And then I thought, what if I just make his dad a terrible person? Like, that's paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. Like, Togashi just straight up says, like, his plan was to make Jing a terrible person. That way Gon has his own spotlight and can do his own stuff. But, all right, I'm going to hop into the debate. I probably won't debate for very long tonight. AJB, what's up, bro?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of quiet. Hold on, let me leave and then hop back in. Hold on. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Okay, yeah, that sounds better. How are you doing, JB?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm like on the way to work right now. I'm like 20 minutes, I think. I have to start.
Oh, man, okay,
So-
okay.
But I can talk real quick because I remember when you said in Discord, like, oh, I'm about to do a stream about Jing is a fraud as father and stuff. I remember that. Like, you didn't end up doing it till now, as it turns out. Hello?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here.
But yeah, I still, like, I always wanted to debate that because I remember we, like, with the other people in the Discord, we started talking about it, and like, a few were like, yeah, Jing is a bad father, and then I and a few others were like, yeah, Jing is a bad father, but he's not that bad of a father. And then I remember I had a conversation with Kurai on voice chat, and it literally, for me, went from, yeah, Jing is a bad father, but not that bad, to, yeah, he's actually a good father. And, yeah, I wanted to debate that with you.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. What makes you think that he's a good father?
Okay. So, like, when, like, let's say, from God's perspective, right? Or no, let's say, like, other people say Jing is a bad father because, like, I don't know which point I should begin. Like, too much I want to talk about. Can you, maybe first give me, like,
Yeah.
a point where I can start? Like,
Yeah, no, I
why
understand.
You think Jing is a bad father?
Yeah, no, I understand how that can be. Like, you have a lot of thoughts at once, not sure which one to use first. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can relate to that. So I mean, I would say like one of the things that makes Jing a bad father is like the fact that Gon was dying in the hospital and he didn't even go visit him. That's
Yeah.
that's a pretty terrible thing. The other thing is like just the insane like requirements that Jing had for Gon to meet him. It would, I mean, a real life equivalent would be like you have a son and you say, look, I'm not even gonna speak to you unless you become a star player in the NBA. Like you can't making it to the NBA is not enough. You need to be like successful in the NBA before you even look at me. Like before we even speak words. And then your son is just an actual prodigy, joins the NBA at 12 years old and is like on par with some of the better players at 12. He comes to see you at 12 years old and you don't even play a game of basketball with him. That's pretty much the equivalent of what happened with Gon and Hunter x Hunter. Like he became a hunter that's probably more challenging than joining the NBA. He became like almost a high level pro within just like about a year of learning Nen. And he doesn't even ask Gon like, hey, show me your abilities, anything like that. He just yaps about himself for a day and then basically tells Gon to go kick rocks.
Yeah, it's kind of accurate. One thing I like really disagree with though is that even though like from what we know from the story, Jing is like Gon's father was like with like what is it called like in English like blood father or something like that, like the real father you could say.
Yeah, he's his blood father. Yeah.
He isn't really his father. I remember, I don't know if like it was in the manga or something, but I think I read that like Mido literally has like the rights or the thing where like she is like his parent and Ging like really is just like the official father, but like he isn't like he doesn't like he literally has no obligation to be Gon's father.
Oh yeah, like because Mito adopted him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so, like,
he's still his dad though. Like.
Yeah, but like that's like it is more like I'm in the NBA. You're my son. I have to train so hard and like it's so fun to train and stuff and say I don't really care about you. Go to your adoptive family, whatever. I really don't want to meet you, but you can meet me if you really want. If you get really, really strong and can join the NBA with me. And that's like not even everything because the reason, or like Gon, like when he first heard about Jing even existing and not being dead, I think, I remember, it was from Kite. Kite stumbled on the island and then told Gon about Jing. And that Kite is right now trying to find him, and that's like sort of the test thing as a teacher sort of gave him. And then Gon decided on his own that he wanted to become a hunter and wanted to become strong enough to meet him. And then you have a time skip. Then he does the hunter, like the hunter thing. Then he goes with Killua, and then he comes back, and then he heard about like the tape with Jing saying, "Hey, you wanna meet me? You have to become strong and stuff." And that is like the first point where Jing even did something where you could say it's Jing's fault. Everything before that was caused by you could say other universal powers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't even. That's not even like a big problem. I mean, it's not good. Like I'll be honest. Like I don't think Jing has done anything good as a father. Actually,
I think he has. I think he has very much.
Like what? Can you name like 2 things that Jing has done well as a dad?
He made Red Island and allowed Gon through that like that. As soon like as he came back and had like the hunter exam like completed, and as soon as he like had the goal to meet Jing gave him the resources like with like tips and all that stuff, like sort of to Gon to start his own like his own path based on like what Jing gave him.
Well, I would say
to become that strong.
So I would say
and I think the reason why this is something that is good is because it is actually Gon's goal to do that, to like meet Jing and to get strong. And I think that he did that was something that is actually positive.
Here real quick, yeah. JB. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, that's a fair point. Like, him creating Greed Island as, like, a training area for Gon, that's the one good thing that he's probably done as a father. I think that's actually the only thing. Because, and even that isn't that good, because Jing could have just trained him himself. Jing could have, like...
He didn't want to.
Yeah, that's, like, a bad father,
it's
you know?
Kind of the middle ground.
I mean, like, the difference...
But he didn't have to.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, anyways, Doctor.
I mean, what I'm saying is... That's not a good thing, right? Like, basically, he himself is a top 5 hunter. His son is exactly like him, following his footsteps exactly. And, he could have made Gon, like, 10 times stronger. He could have made his journey, like, way safer, way better. But he just kind of leaves him to the wolves and gives him like a sink or swim scenario. And if Gon wasn't like this 1 in 10 million talent, he probably would have just died in there. So I mean, I could say him being in Greed Island at 12 years old might not be a good thing either. But it's just because Gon is like fundamentally different. He was able to survive and clear the game like in just a few months. But I mean, I'd say at best that is the one good thing he's done for him, and even that's not that good because he completed the whole game, and the reward of the game is that you get 3 cards, and he pretty much like made Gon waste the reward entirely. Like
I think that's actually something that is good again. I wanted to get to that later, but continue for now.
Why is that good? Like, I mean, think about how much stronger Gon could have been.
Okay. Here's the thing I thought about.
Go ahead.
So, like, the thing is, like, you told me that, like, Jing could have just trained Gon himself. But that's very true. That's, like, 100% true. Gon would have been stronger, Gon wouldn't have these dangers, Gon wouldn't have these pains, everything. But let's be honest, Jing is a complete egoist. He doesn't care that much. Like literally.
But that's not a good thing. Like that.
Life. Yeah, no. But and he told him that, and I think it would have been really odd for a character like Jing to do that. I think.
But JB, isn't
your had no son than do that, and that's why he did like the middle thing where he had a son and like found a compromise with himself to train Gon and at the same time still like do whatever he wants.
But didn't you say that he's a good? You said he's a good father. Nothing you just said is like a good father. That's like someone who barely cares.
Like a good father. Yeah, he's definitely not a good father. But I think the Jing's role as from like being a father for a kid that wants to be a strong man fighter, and that's like Gon did decide on his own to become a strong hunter, you know, and to support that goal while he still had a parent. Mito was had to do that, and he was just like training Gon, and he still had fun and managed to like give him to Wing and to what is
but I mean like that's not
and like
him seeing Wing and Gon becoming as strong as he was. Honestly, like none of that. I'm gonna be honest, like pretty much none of that is because of Jing. It's like 100% like just because Gon is built different. Like he's
I don't think.
he's just like a super genius. So it's like no matter what he really does, he's going to get strong anyway. It's basic. I mean, basically, like what we have here is like a Dragon Ball Z example. It would be like if Gohan actually liked fighting and Goku just told him like screw off, bro. Like I don't want to train you. But I mean, Goku's genuinely a far better dad than Jing is. Like objectively way better, and he's considered like one of like the stereotypical bad anime dads, but he's like genuinely leagues and bounds better than Jing is because he goes out of his way for Gohan continuously. He trains Gohan all the time. Like if
He is his real parent, you know. Like Goku, like didn't like give away Gon, like he.
I mean, and
Mito.
I mean, and JB, that's not a good point for Jing, man. Like that makes him
I
worse,
think
bro. Like
I think,
he gave
I
his
think
son
it
up for
is.
adoption, basically, bro.
But one thing I wanted to say, like, you remember when you say like, the biggest like wrong thing Jing did was to send Gon with a company to Kite, right?
Yeah, that's one of the bad things. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to say that I think it wasn't that bad because I think like you could say, and based on how the manga and anime portrayed or whatever it was, that Jing like actually did that because he just didn't want to meet like another person next to Gon and Killua, and that's why Gon almost died, right?
But it
But
like
I actually think.
oh, go ahead.
But I actually think it isn't that stupid because, let's say he was alone and he managed to beat Grid Island, and then he was alone to go to Jing, and that's like, okay, Jing says, okay, Gon is strong enough, he can see me. But like that, he uses the company, kind of tells him that he has a friend, and it kind of also tells him that he has a strong friend, so he might not be that good yet. So he sends him to Kite to train a little more, to then meet him. I think that's actually something that was that way, like that wasn't that stupid.
But like what they
It was kind of unfortunate that he almost died.
I mean, but what they actually say though is that the only reason he sent him to Kite was because he's like embarrassed. He's self-conscious. That's the reason that's stated.
That's what the anime and the manga betray. But I think that's like, I think that might not be the reason. That might be the reason that was like told to a viewer, but or a reader. But in Jing's head, he was a little more like, you know.
Wait, no, hold on, real quick, Milos. It was stated by Jing that he didn't want Gon to get sent with him because he felt as if Gon was friends.
Because what?
Like he said, like Jing said, like, and don't quote me on this, but he was like, if John's gonna be a dweeb and bring along a friend that he doesn't need to see me, bring him along with Kite. But if he wants to see me alone, then I guess I don't mind facing him off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just actually I have the panels on screen, and it's just Jing being self-conscious, like he's just like shy. That's the
No, because then his friend was like, how is he like a dweeb or whatever the case, whatever word he used.
All right, see you, JB.
I arrived at my show. I rewatched the stream later for now. Bye.
All right, see you, man.
Or you wanted to say one last thing, or?
No, yeah, I mean, no, that's about everything. Those were good points you were making.
Okay. Bye.
See you, man.
Now
But-
allow the king to finally take the room, right?
Wait, hold on, King Shout. There were other people here first.
Okay, go
Like Popo was here for a minute.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you not think that, like, Jing leaving Gong was, like, the best thing for him?
No.
Like, you know, he's a hunter. That life isn't great, and be hard to, like, bring a child with him during that.
I mean, I would agree if Gon was a normal child, but like he's clearly not. Like he went from knowing like almost nothing to clearing Greed Island in like 3 months. And like I was reading Greed Island, like that's actually such a insane feat he achieved, because like there was over 100 hunters hired by just like one guy, and there were people in there so long that like they just gave up on ever getting out of the game, and decided to live their whole lives in the game. That guy Tez Guerra had been there for a very long time. He had 80% of the game completed before Gon even showed up, and then like 3-4 months later he just beats the game. Like he's clearly not a normal child. And if he was, if Jing thought he could handle the Chimera Ant arc, then like he definitely could have handled like some training from Jing. Like he could have done anything more than the absolute bare minimum to just like actually help him out.
I mean, that's fair, but it's not like he could have known Gon's potential.
I mean, he could have though, if he wasn't like constantly out just picking up cigarettes and getting milk, bro. Like if he actually was just, you know, a real dad, like he would have known. So
like I'm not gonna lie, I do agree. It's like a pretty shitty dad.
Yeah.
I would also say like him giving like Gon to Mito was probably the best thing he did as a father.
I mean, I think it would be the best thing if Gon was normal. But, like, Gon is basically just, like, a clone of Jing. With maybe even, like, more potential. And he just kind of let him waste it all, sending him to the Chimera Ant arc. And didn't even care either. Did act, like, the crazy thing is, like, when Gon was near death, he got in that state because he was trying to find Jing. And Jing himself did actually nothing to save him, bro. Like,
Well, yeah, that's fair. He doesn't care. Like, he literally stated himself that he's selfish and just wants to do his own thing. It's like, they have no relationship besides them being related, honestly.
Yeah, and he...
Like, I don't blame him for it.
Yeah, and he's just made Gon's life, like, objectively worse. If you ask me, like, he's just been nothing but bad, basically.
That's fair. But low-key, I think in his mind, he's not even his father, bro. I mean, Mito is both his mama and his dad.
Probably, yeah.
At this point.
That's true.
In his mind.
I mean, he has, like, dialogue about that where he's like, he doesn't really view him like a dad anyway.
It's just like the cool uncle.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's like, I was thinking about it. Like, if Jing wasn't strong, I would probably hate him, bro. Like, I would probably think this guy's just actually terrible. But because he's strong and he's basically like Yusuke, you can't help but just think he's like one of the best characters.
Yeah,
and
that's honestly true.
And it's wild that he's just one letter away from Wing. So I had to do this. Yeah.
Dude, I wish I was there for the Wing as a fraud stream. I would have like, bro is not a fraud.
Yeah, Wing. I will just always slander Wing.
Wing is a fraud. So you're saying, well, I can't intervene just yet, right? You gotta finish the point.
Well,
no, you can go ahead. I'm pretty much done.
Well, I mean, we could just have it all be open because I'm only like my phone is dying, so I'll only be here like 10 more minutes. So anyone can talk.
All right, bet. So you're saying that you're saying he's a fraud because he abandoned Gon. So are you saying that he's a deadbeat?
Yeah, that and a few other things too. Then LOL Supreme, what did you say?
No, I think there's a lot of Jin slander. At least in terms of him like being, well, I'm not gonna argue he is a deadbeat, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's the worst dad. I kind of think like Silver might be worse, honestly.
It's not even Silver. The worst dad in Hunter x Hunter period is Gyro's dad, who literally.
Oh well, yeah, duh. Well, yeah. I mean, like that doesn't say. I mean, I'm not saying he's the worst father in Hunter x Hunter, because Hunter x Hunter is like a cruel, twisted verse, but he's definitely like just objectively a scumbag. Like the author wrote him to be a bad person.
But here's the thing, I actually have a theory about it, and I actually want to get your, like, your 2 cents. Jing did take care of Gon up until the age of that, like, when he was 5. And then Gon even says himself, like, he just thinks his mom is dead.
He wasn't 5, bro. He wasn't 5. Like, Mito has dialogue where she says, like, he came here and dropped you off as a baby. I think he was like, I think he was at most 2.
He was 5 years old, or like maybe 3 or something like that. Because
that's a big.
In the flashback, Gon was pretty old. Like, he wasn't just like a baby, you know.
No, he was a baby, man. Like, I know the exact chapter where they says, like, they say the exact age where he dropped him off. He wasn't 5. He was like, he might not have even been 1. Like, it was right after. It was like, I think Jing was 20. Like, I think it was right after Gon was born. He just dropped him off.
No, they like, it was definitely that age. I remember, like, the anime and
right,
manga as well. Like, you have to, like, go back to it.
I know the. Hold up, King Shot. You're about to make me pull this up because you're wrong, and I'm just gonna pull it up. Hold up.
All right, go ahead. But my thing is, like, I just think there's a theory that, like, I feel like anytime I look at Jing, I don't get the sense that he just doesn't like Gon whatsoever, right? Because he doesn't even know him. I get the sense that it's more so of, like, an Itachi type of theme, where it's just like he was forced to abandon Gon through his mom. Like, he had made, like, a deal with his mom, or, like, his mom ended up dying because of Jing. He was like, hey, I don't want my son to go through the same thing. And then also what proves this furthermore is the fact that Togashi, when he wrote, like, the ending for Hunter x Hunter, that the one that, like, he's not gonna actually write. Remember how Gon had, like, a granddaughter, and she chose not to be a hunter. Her life turned out really good, and so did, like, his children, Gon children, right? And they just stayed on the island. They didn't go anywhere else besides, like, Whale Island. And their life turned out great. So, like, maybe Jing was hoping that for Gon. Maybe Jing was hoping, like, hey, you see what, like, a asshole I'm being to you, and then you're just like, I'm not gonna become a hunter. That's probably what he was hoping.
Okay, so
so you think he's just being an asshole just to, like, you know, make Gon not become a hunter?
Yeah.
So here's.
That sounds like something Jing will actually do. Cause, like,
I'm not gonna like King Shadow.
Not take this on the adventure, right?
I'm not gonna like King Shadow. That's pure headcanon. But so here's the. I pulled up the chapter, right? So like, they say that Jing left when he was Gon's age. He was 11 when he left, and then it says Jing came back 10 years later. So he was 21 when he came back, and now Jing is 32. So, like, Gon was at most, like, 1 year old.
Let me see. No, he left when he was 12, right? Because Gon was 12 in the beginning of the story.
Here, hold on. I'll go back. Hold on. I'll go to the chat. They say the exact age Jing was when he left. I'll get the.
And just like a small point, Jin does tell Razer that he has permission to kill Gon during the dodgeball game. At least when they encounter each other.
Like, yeah, he was like, you can try, but it won't be easy. Something like that.
No, I think, like, if I recall, he said, no, you said you can kill him, but, you know, I think something like,
no, Razer
my son or something.
You said go all out, so does that mean that I can just kill him? And then Jing was like, yeah, but it's not going to be easy. He is my son after all. So, like, Jing actually has faith in Gon ability. If Gon was able to meet Razer.
Okay, so yeah, it says that
Greed Island.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
With, like, Greed Island, is all I wanted to say was they honestly, Gon and Killua got super lucky because they ran into Bisky and went on, like, a training arc. It was way more likely they'd run into someone like Beanalt who would just, like, murder them.
Yeah.
So it's like, really, the odds were way higher they would just have been killed if they went to Greed Island and they didn't get lucky enough to run into, like, a really good trainer there who wants to train them.
Yeah, that's true. Like, even the intro beasts were, like, stronger.
It revolved around Gon getting stronger anyways. Like, Jing built it so Gon can get stronger. So, like, you know, they would have figured it out regardless. But it was a longer period of time, of course.
But yeah, I found the exact panel. It says he took the hunter exam when he was your age before he turned 12. So he was like 11, about to turn 12. And then it says he came back 10 years later, so he was like 22, and Jing is no, hold on. Yeah, he was 22. So it's like I'm pretty sure Gon's like a newborn, bro. Like I think Gon's like a newborn.
So, like, but that's assuming that like he had gone if he's 22 when he came back. That's assuming he had gone when he was 22. But what if he had him when he was like what? He's 32 right now, right?
Yeah, he's 32.
That doesn't make any sense. So he's at least 2 years old. Gon's at least 2 at this time.
Yeah, like 1 or 2.
Let me see, because that's a 10 years difference. Yeah.
He's like 1, 2 at the oldest, I think.
No, he has to be 2 at that point because 10 years later in the series, Gon is 12. So and Jing is 32 right now. So yeah. So what made Jing take care of Gon for those 2 years? And like, I highly doubt it's unlikely for Jing to like knock up a lady and him not know about it. You know, like Jing is smart.
I don't think there was a lady though, but that's my head canon.
Like, you think he used the card where you can just like have a child by yourself?
I mean, he could have used one of the cards, or Gon is a calamity. That's my
Jing already implied that he had a mother. Jing already implied that Gon had a mother. But like, even if you want to say he used a card, what made him take care of like Gon for 2 years and just decided?
He might be planning. It might be like saving. Well, preparing him for something, right?
Or it, like I said, it may just be like.
But I mean, honestly,
because one of the things I find curious about the whole thing is like Jing just has complete faith that Gon is going to be able to pass all these hunter exams, do all these tests, despite him knowing all the adversities and the chances he's going to die. Right? He's still like talking to people as though he has 100% faith, like that he's going to go through, pass all this stuff. So I think there's something more to it there. That's why I'm like.
But here's the other thing I was thinking is like Gon could be just like a brand newborn if you say something like Jing it says he was like almost 12 when he took the exams, right? And then he came back 10 years later. So he could have came back 21 years old. Gon's just born. And then 11 years later we have like current story Gon, because Gon's also like almost 12. So like Gon might be 1. He might be 1 or like legit like a couple weeks old. Like he could have just been born, and then Jing's like, this baby's getting in the way, I need to just drop him off. I don't want him, bro. Like,
yeah, I'll address that in a second. But like off topic real quick, the biggest deadbeat in like anime, I feel like, is just Dragon from One Piece. Doesn't even like talk to his son. Like never even seen him.
I mean,
but besides that,
yeah, the dragon is basic.
Is Yasop?
Oh yeah, Yasop is worse. I mean, One Piece is just the story of deadbeats, basically. But yeah, I mean, Jing just genuinely isn't very good though, because I mean the difference between like someone like Jing and Dragon is like at least Luffy had Garp. And Garp was was still training him,
right?
But Mito can't Mito's not training him, right? Like I think.
Okay, but like.
Well, hold on.
Here's the thing, like Jing at least cares for his son in like the sense of he built a game with the intent of Gon beating the game.
Listen,
like
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's trash, because it's like. The difference is like Gon has like he's the only human stated to have bottomless potential. Jing himself is extremely talented. It is annoying when I think about like Gon reached really high levels in like 6 months of just being exposed to Nen, basically. He would have been way stronger if like Jing just stuck around. Like he could have entered the hunter exams already knowing Nen. Like the Gon we have at the end of the Chimera Ant arc, like that could have been like start of series Gon if Jing just like chilled with him. And then he would have just been like he might have been able to fight side by side with Kite. Maybe they would have just beaten Pito during the Chimera Ant arc. Like, so many things would have been different. Because Pito didn't even have a Hatsu ability yet. Like, he just kind of screwed Gon over badly for actually no reason.
Well, I kind of disagree with you a little bit there. Just simply because I think there's some things that Gon learned along the way that I don't think he would have learned very well in a controlled environment.
I mean, the environment doesn't need to be controlled. He can still go on dangerous missions, but like, Jing could have just powered him up for certain. Like, it didn't have to take until Gon completes the Hunter exams to learn Nen when your dad's a top 5 Nen user. Like, he could have learned Nen at 8. He could have learned Nen at 8 and then had 3 years of Nen experience by the time he takes the Hunter exam and be like...
Here's the thing, right? Because, like, all of that is, like, being, like, the essential part of the story. Like, look at it like this, right? Garp probably knows all of the advanced hockey, right? And he didn't teach any of that to Luffy, Ace, or Sabo, right? But like, he just taught them, like,
but bro,
basic
that doesn't matter, bro. Like, because like,
but no, you're saying like this could have happened, that could have happened, but at the same time, like, I don't think it's like within Jing's character to even teach Gon. Like,
I mean,
even, like, even
why?
if he was a good dad and like irrespective, like the Zodiac family, they're like. They teach their children, like the offsprings, assassin techniques, but they didn't even teach Killer with Nen. Like, I don't think
no, here's
like good story if learned
the example
Nen.
you hold on, man. The example you gave like is completely different though. Like, what good would it do Luffy to know hockey if he has no physical strength at all? What good does that do him? Like, Garp made him physically strong.
Okay, and then after that, what happened? Like, after he got physically strong, just no hockey?
Why does that matter?
He already has a devil fruit.
Garp
like,
made, like, if you think about how strong Luffy got, like, Luffy would basically low diff to the East Blue. Garp did just fine, man.
Right? You remember Kobe, the dweeb in episode like 1 or 2 of One Piece? Yeah, he was training with Garp for like a couple months, or like however like the case may be, ran into Luffy again and put up a decent fight against him.
He did not, like, bro. He got one shot. What do you mean a decent? What do you mean a decent fight? He got one shot, bro. Did you, bro? What do you mean he put up a decent fight? Luffy legit one shot him. Every time Luffy and Kobe have fought, Kobe gets one shot every time.
But it's a huge difference between, like, because mind you, Luffy like knew Garp for 17 years and trained alongside of him. With Kobe on the other hand, who's been with Garp for a couple of months, and he had a complete glow up. And
that doesn't matter, bro. That doesn't matter, bro. At all, bro.
That's like the comparison. Like, you're making one Hunter x Hunter, though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but
I don't know why you're even mentioning it, bro. Garp's better than Jing by a lot, bro. I'm sorry. It's just I don't see why you're making this comparison. Garp's a lot better than Jing. Like, Garp went out of his way to spend time with Luffy. Like, trained him a lot, bro. Like, trained him a lot, and he was like, he also found what Garp did. Like, that should have been what Jing did actually. That's like the other reason why I really don't like that example, because like, Jing was hiding Luffy and Ace from like the Marines because their dads are both like insanely dangerous, like rebel forces. But yeah, like, think essentially, like, if you've read One Piece, you know Robin, like, her childhood was terrible. Like, a bunch of normal people were trying to kill her all the time. If people knew who Luffy and Ace's dad were, like, they would have had the same childhood. And Garp, like, found a way for them to have a normal childhood, like, grow up, have fun, train together, like, have a good life. And then he would, like, leave his missions and then just spend time with them. There's, like, a lot of scenes of that where Garp's, like, training them both, like, eating meals with them, like, teaching them wisdom. They just wouldn't listen to him, but he was, like, trying to teach them stuff, too. Like, Garp is actually, like, 10,000 times better than Jing was. So I don't understand. I don't understand why you're bringing up the comparison at all.
I was bringing up a comparison, like, when it comes down to training wise. You're like, oh, Gon could have learned Nin and this and the third. I'm like, yeah, but like, so Luffy could have learned hockey, but like, it's not a good story if he already knows all of that stuff, right?
But I
That's
mean,
how, like, that's the
but
comparison
he
I was
didn't.
making. And then also
He didn't
with that,
need
like, yeah, you're right. Like,
he didn't
Trunks
need hockey
is a
yet,
better
bro.
guy.
He didn't need hockey yet. He didn't need it, bro. Like, he needed to focus on his fundamentals more. Like, what's the point? Like, okay, imagine if you gave 7-year-old Luffy hockey. That's not gonna do anything. He couldn't even throw a punch, bro.
Check this out. I could make the same argument for Gon.
What do you mean?
He needs to build up his body physically. He doesn't need to learn Nin yet. You see what I'm saying?
Bro, Nen is completely different than like, you become superhuman learning Nen, man. And Gon has like unnatural amounts of aura. I'd argue most of Gon's superhuman strength just came from him playing in the woods. He would have still developed it. He wasn't even.
One point I will give you the benefit of the doubt is the fact that Zushi even learns Nin, like in Heaven's Arena, at 6 years younger than Gon and Killua. That's like, I can give you the benefit of the doubt there, and then also Killua, like, younger sibling learns Nin. But you have to keep in mind though, right? Like, do you think it was still like Hunter x Hunter will play out as good as it played out if Gon already knows Nin from the beginning of the series?
It's not just him knowing Nen. It's the fact that like Jing could have trained him and made him stronger. Like, bro, Gon wasn't training, man. Like, he didn't even know that like hunters were superhuman strong people. He didn't know that. He was just like playing in the woods, bro. Like, he didn't know anything about it.
I'll put it to you like this. Kite, when he went to Well Island, he could have trained Gon, and he didn't. And then also, there's
Kite's not his dad, bro.
When they met Leorio again, and like Leorio was having a hard time understanding Nin, Killua Gon didn't decide to like stop and like train Leorio on how to like learn Nin. They just kept moving and like pursuing like their goals.
Wait, who didn't teach Leorio Nen? Who? What?
Gon or Killua, when Leorio was struggling within the study of Nin, when he was studying Nin.
You're saying Gon and Killua didn't teach Leorio?
Yeah.
Bro, Gon and Killua are like 5 years old, bro. Why would they be teaching this grown man Leorio stuff? He's dumb, bro. He's not as talented as.
He was trying to teach Gon and Killua Nin when they didn't understand it. That's completely fine.
Bro, I'm not understanding these comparisons, man. Like, how is
I'm making a comparison because what you're just trying to like say is just like it's just like it just destroys the whole entire story. Like, what's the point of even studying Nin, or us like the readers learning about Nin, and Khan already understands it and knows it from the beginning of the series, right? What's the point? Like, at this point in time, there's no Hisoka badge going on. He doesn't need to go to Heaven's Arena. Skip over that whole entire arc. Phantom Troop arc.
The same stuff.
Skip over that whole entire scene. Like, if that goes the way you want it to go, the story is just trash. If you ask me, like, I'm not, like, at this point, I'm glad Ging is a deadbeat.
I don't think the story's trash.
Let's put it this way, right? If we went your direction, Leos, with Jing training Gon from birth, right? Mm-hmm. He would have probably made a good Nen user, but I don't think he would have been a good hunter, right? Because being on that island, right, I think it allowed him to, first of all, he developed a lot of super senses, right? Sense of smell, sense of nature. He's able to like sense the emotions of wild animals, right? All that stuff came really handy when the hunter's exams came in, right? And I feel like some of those skills, right, some of those innate skills are going to be lost, right? If Gene was in the picture, to kind of like, show him, to kind of go, show him his own way of doing things. He might not have, been able to develop his own super senses. That's how I feel about it. I feel like there are just certain things Gon has to go through in the series to be a hunter, even with or without Nen, right?
I would argue.
The argument to this is like, it's completely fine of Gon not knowing Nin by Jing, because mind you, Jing, like I said, it's highly indicated that Jing didn't have a Nin master, and he learned Nin, and he's a top 5 Nin user at that. And we even if he did have a Nin master, we know nothing of him having a Nin master. as far as the series went. Also, Killua didn't even learn Nin from his parents, but yet in like the series, like human beings alone, not considered in the Dark Continent, he's probably top 20, top 25 in the verse Killua, right? Without learning Nin from his parents, who are like the top assassins in the whole entire world, right? So like that doesn't actually stunt your growth. You know what I'm saying?
No, my argument is everything Gon has would just be better if Jing just stopped by every now and then and trained him. I don't see why you guys are saying he would suddenly get nerfed by have Gon do the same stuff but more. I don't get it, bro. I don't understand.
Like he could literally. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like he could still, learn all that stuff, and Jing could be there for him, like not off doing whatever he wanted.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
My son.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think if Jin was there, it's going to, take away some of that experience, right? Because, like I said, he's going to provide more of a protective or sheltered environment where he wouldn't really have to struggle that much to do certain things, right?
I mean, he can do all the.
Exam was for in the first place was to allow all these characters to develop, those critical thinking skills, those strategic skills, right? That came into play in later arcs, right? I don't think he'd be able to do that if it wasn't on his own.
To explain the scenario that you're giving, right? It's like, Roy, like to go through each arc, what's gonna happen? Hunter exam, he walks straight through it. If you're giving like what Gon is at the end of the series, Gon at the beginning of the series, he walks through it just like Killua walked through the Hunter exam, right? He passes easily. Heaven's Arena, he wants to land a hit on Hisoka, he does that easily. Phantom Troop arc, he probably even kills a spider or two through the hypocritical easily. There's no challenge, there's no competition, there's no want to get stronger. Greed Island, there's no need to train because he already understands everything, right? He walks through that easily. And then when it comes down to Chimera Ant arc, he's gonna die because he's overconfident. He thinks he can beat somebody. Mind you, he was already arrogant enough to be like, hey, I'm gonna fight Neferpito, and Killua had to stop him, right? So it's either he dies or he's just like, and then that's when we finally get a training arc out of Gon.
I mean, that doesn't sound. I mean,
it's just a trash story if you ask me. There's no competition at that point.
I mean, he would just. I don't know if it would be a bad story, honestly. It would just be slightly different. Gon would just be better off.
One Punch Man, basically.
Check this out. Hisoka had told Gon at his arena, he's like, next time we fight, it'll be in the real world, and it'll be to kill each other.
Or another thing is he would just do different stuff.
Do you think he's just gonna spare his life?
Yeah, he probably would, because Gon Chimera Ant Gon is not even a tenth of his potential. We know that, but
yeah.
And yes,
but Hisoka straight up just says, he's like, hey, next time we fight, it'll be to the death because I'm not gonna grant you another mercy. Now, since you're just now learning Nin, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But since you're already well versed in it, I'm just gonna kill you. I
highly doubt that, because Gon, he's going to know that Gon is just a okay. Let me put it to you like this: look at the kid Chimera Ant Gon, and then look at the adult Gon we saw. The gap in between that, Hisoka's not gonna just be like, you know what, I'll just deal with the fodder version of him. He's not going to do that.
You ought to keep in mind that Knuckle was already comparing him to a seasoned or veteran hunter.
He called him a mid-level pro.
That's not even an enraged Gon. So I'm quite sure Hisoka would be like, all right, this is a full tiger here.
I don't think he's going to, because Hisoka's a good judge of how strong people can get. If he looks at that Gon and thinks that's his full potential, he's off by times 1,000. I don't think Hisoka's like that. But I mean it's kind of spiraling into a completely different kind of debate. But just the fact is Gon as a character would have been better off. Maybe. I hear your argument.
I think another thing, right, is really they keep talking about, if you don't have these experiences, but what we see in Hunter x Hunter is that every time Gon and Killua need to get stronger, they generally train in some sort of controlled environment, and that's when they get like the biggest power-ups. They don't like fight a dude and then over the course of the fight they get like 10 times stronger. That doesn't really happen. It's just like they went and trained and now they're stronger because they trained in a controlled environment. So like if he was trained by Jing from when he was like 5 or something, he'd probably be like literally like almost as strong as Jing. Like it would be insane.
I think it would have just been very interesting to see. Well, I think the big thing that annoys me is it's just like, it kind of reminds me of Gohan before we got Dragon Ball Super, just like thinking, man, he just wasted all his potential, and you just know that he did, like, or like the kind of the same way you people view Goten, just like a lot of potential just wasted. That's kind of how I see Gon sometimes. I'm like, he has like insane potential, and his dad just actually doesn't care at all.
Yeah, I feel like Hunter x Hunter, there's like a weird thing with Hunter x Hunter, where low-key it seems like the message of the story is like, don't be ambitious, because it's like Meruem was ambitious and he died for it and it ruined his life. There's the like whole succession arc where they're all ambitious and it makes them all like evil murderers. Gon pursued his dad, that was his ambition, and he like lost the ability to like use Nen, so like that screwed him up. Like anytime someone's ambitious in the story, it actually just screws them. Like it's weird.
That's actually it's actually a good point. Like I think
no, Jing's ambitious though.
Yeah, but everyone hates him. Like canonically, he's hated by like everybody in the story.
That's true.
I think like the message is like, enjoy the detours.
And he's not really, and like so is Kurapika to a certain extent.
Yeah, but Kurapika's ambition is destroying him though. Like he's just becoming darker and darker. Like he has a line of dialogue where he's like, every time I've gotten one of these eyes back, I've like lost a piece of myself. Like that's actually a very good point that Anno made. I think the message of Hunter x Hunter is to just like enjoy the detours of life. Or one of the messages.
It's more about the adventures and your friends, right? Like I think that's really the main theme, even especially with Kurapika, because the main thing is that they're trying to like position him away from like, you know, being so ambitious that he gives up his life in order to, you know, get revenge or, you know, get the Kurta clan's eyes back, right? So yeah, I agree with that. Although, one thing I do want, at least one thing I want to ask, so, yeah, I just want to get your opinion on this, Lilos. Who do you think, or at least, what do you think is, at least up with, like, Gon's mother?
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, it's either, it's either she's just, like, some random girl. Like Jing said that they broke up, so it's either like Jing was telling the truth and it was just like a one-night stand kind of thing or something, or maybe she's just like a logical human being and is like, yo, this guy is a scumbag, like, and just like, you know, they actually broke up and that's real. Or maybe it's the card thing from Greed Island, or maybe like he just found Gon, but like he's too much of like a clone of Jing to just be randomly found, I think. Like, maybe Jing got affected by... Well, no, Jing has never been to the Dark Continent, so... I don't know. I mean, maybe Jing did go on, like, an undocumented trip himself or something. But, I think the fact that Gon is basically, like, a clone of Jing implies that he actually is Jing's son.
I thought he did go to the Dark Continent. Didn't he say there was, like, a bigger tree than the tree they were sitting on the Dark Continent or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought he went to the Dark Continent.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, he might have just learned about the Dark Continent from books and, like, from speaking to Netero, because, like, Jing had more knowledge on it than, like, everyone else. He knew about undocumented trips that, like, only Netero went on and stuff, so...
But then there's also like that place that we seen him in like the flashback. Like if that's not the Dark Continent, there must be like a borderline between like the dark continent and like the real world that he went to, or something akin to it, because it's just like, what the hell was that, right? We never seen that anywhere else in Hunter x Hunter. And the Zodiacs are frauds, by the way. Those are the biggest frauds.
I don't know about all
Thanks,
that.
Goku.
But all right, man. I think I'm gonna get going to sleep, bro.
Alright.
All right, guys.
Okay. See you.
It was a fun debate. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Rio. I don't know if you said anything during that. Did you want to say anything, Rio?
No, I didn't know what the debate was about, so I was just listening.
Oh, we were talking.
Next time.
Yeah, we were basically just talking about how Jing's a deadbeat, and like some people were saying Jing's actually like a good dad and like did good things for Gon. Well, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think he's a deadbeat or not really?
He's definitely a deadbeat.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But all right, man.
You debate about this for like hours?
Yeah, for like, yeah, I wasn't even planning on this being a long debate. I thought this would be like 10 minutes, but I think that went on for like 45 minutes or something.
But who do you think is worse, Goku or Jing?
I actually think Jing, man, because like if you think about so Gon is basically like exactly like Gohan, but actually likes fighting, and
You mean Gon, right?
well, yeah, sorry, I'm tired. I don't even know what I said. Yeah, I was trying to say Gon is like just like Gohan, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is like Jing just abandons Gon and like leaves him to the wolves, basically tells him to figure it all out himself, and like even after like Gon loses his Nen, he calls him, he's like, hey man, can you help me? He's like, nah, just deal with it, basically. But with Goku and Gohan, it's like Goku spends a lot, honestly, like more than a year's worth of time at one point, like just training him. Like during the Android saga, I think he takes him away for like 3 years and trains with him like every day for 3 years. Trains him for a whole year in the hyperbolic time chamber, dies for him several times. Like, at least like.
I mean.
Oh, go ahead.
Even before that, when he trained with Piccolo and Gohan, before the hyperbolic time chamber, they spent like 2 years, right, in preparation for Trunks.
Yeah,
1 year. Maybe.
He spends a lot of time with him. So it's like. It's actually a really good comparison, because if you look at Gohan in the Cell Saga, he's like the same age as start of series Gon. Like they're both 11. And just look at like how much more time Goku poured into Gohan than what Jing did. Like Gon has not even like seen Jing. But Goku's done a lot for him. Like was willing to fight super villains for him and stuff. Like,
yeah, and it's like everyone shits on Goku, but to be honest, every second he has outside of training for himself, he spends with his family.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
He's always concerned.
That's true. I think Dragon Ball Super Goku is like not the same Goku. Like, but
yeah, but I don't think we're counting that, to be honest. Like we're just talking about. Like Dragon Ball Z Goku.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Goku's a whole other person,
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I think Dragon Ball Super.
Count?
What was that?
Does GT count?
Honestly, I don't really remember GT so well. I saw it when I was a kid, so I don't really remember like how they wrote Goku in there.
I mean,
He's basically the same. As Busada Goku.
Yeah, because I feel like in Super Goku, he just lost a lot of like what made him him. Like he lost a lot of his wisdom. They made him like a bumbling fool, and he just does. I mean, like one of the worst things is I feel like Dragon Ball Z Goku would have trained Goten the way like maybe even more than he trained Gohan.
Yeah, definitely.
But in Super he just ignores him, and that seems very like out of character to me.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. In Super he becomes, we know the Saiyans are like battle crazed, little addicts, fighting junkies, but Super takes it to a whole other level, man. He neglects everything else for it.
Yeah,
That's not how it used to be.
yeah, I agree. He's just not like he's just genuinely not as good of a character as he was in Z. If you ask me, like, I think
Yeah.
I think Buu Saga Goku is like a great protagonist. Actually, like, he's really good.
Yeah, he is, and he tries in multiple arcs to give the spotlight to other people. You know, like leaving the legacy to other people. But you know, at the end of the day, he has to step up. But at least he's there. You know, to protect if all else goes wrong.
I mean,
You know,
even
when he said I could have killed Boo. You know, there's so many things he could have done, but he left it for the other people.
even like the Cell Saga, like that's a moment he gets like hated on a lot. But even that, I think his mindset was like he's trying to make Gohan the successor anyway. Like when
it was all about intention, you know. That's the thing. It was not the smartest move, but his intention wasn't to fuck Gohan up, you know. So
yeah, it's true.
and he realized he fucked up because you know, after Piccolo tells him what he did, he realized like maybe this wasn't the best idea, you know.
Yeah, true. I actually oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think like for the most part, like one of the main things that Goku has in Z is that he actually learns from his mistakes. Like they're not afraid to show Goku's flaws, but they also try and show him like mature from it, right? And that all kind of culminates in the Buu Saga, right? I think the Buu Saga shows the most maturity Goku has had, probably in all of Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
I agree.
In Super, really for me, the reason why Super fails is because they sacrifice a lot of that melodrama for gags, right? For more comedy, for more laughs. They're the kind of like trying to replicate what the comedy that was in Dragon Ball, the first one, right? When he was a kid, they're trying to capture that, and they sacrifice a lot of the melodrama that a lot of people really liked in the show. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think my real biggest complaint with Super is just like they really messed up Goku's character, and I think that's just like my biggest one. And they wasted Goten and Trunks. I remember when Super came out, I was thinking, oh man, Goten and Trunks are probably going to be the main characters of this, and they just were never in it the entire show.
Yeah, well, they are the perfect age, you know, for like the power fantasy type of story, you know. They can grow. They have so much potential. They have such good mentors.
I thought they were just gonna have them be the
What
Goku.
they do? They become like. Do you read the manga right now or not?
A bit of it, but I don't know if they made a new chapter after like the Black Frieza. Then I haven't seen it. But.
They made Goten and Trunks laundry superheroes, man, and it's been going on for a year. Like, what the fuck, man?
I did see that, and that's terrible too. Like, I mean, honestly, Goten and Trunks should have hit Super Saiyan 2 like a year after the Buu Saga at most, if you ask me.
Man, they should have hit Super Saiyan 3 because they know how it feels, you know.
Yeah.
But whatever, you know.
Yeah, I actually thought they achieved it individually before they fused.
There's no hint of that. Like they should, like if it works like Potara, you know, you should remember the things you have done in it, but there's no hint. There's not even a hint they can go Super Saiyan 2. They were even struggling to go Super Saiyan in the movie against Cell Max. You know, it's horrible, man.
Yeah, they've just ruined their character because I thought that they were gonna make them be like the Gon and Killua of this series, but they just didn't do that.
Yeah. And they don't have to become the strongest, but you know, they're like the weakest now, and the story they're writing for them is also not good. The laundry superhero Saiyaman stuff, nobody likes that, man. Nobody.
Yeah, it took a bad turn, but I don't know. Maybe it'll get better soon. But yeah, man, I think I'm gonna get going to sleep though. Overall,
what time is it there?
It's late, bro. It is. Let me see. It's like 3 a.m.
Oh shit! It's 10 in the morning here. I just woke up.
Oh. Well, I need to go to sleep. Man. But all right, bro. Yeah, fun discussions, everybody. But yeah, I'm gonna head out.
Yes, see you, man.
All right, see you guys.
Later.
All right, chat. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. How long was this? This was an hour and a half, bro. I started the stream thinking it was gonna be 20 minutes. Short 1 hour stream. I really thought this stream was gonna be 20 minutes. I mean, what's up, Womack? How you doing? I started this stream like tired already, and I didn't even think I was gonna do a debate. I don't even know how we were debating Jing is a modded deadbeat. I don't know how that happened. Maybe so, man. One of the comments you said, you said that Rampage is a better dad. I was like, bro, that's insane. That was one of the wildest comments chat's ever had. But what did you guys think of that, man? I'll be honest, I'm so tired I don't really remember like what we were speaking about too much. I just remember something about comparing Garp to Jing. If Jing did exactly what Garp did, like, I'd say Jing is like best character in the manga. Rampage is just Vegeta if he didn't have Bulma. What? That's crazy. Rampage is actually a scary guy, by the way, bro. I saw him one time in person. It's a terrifying human being. He's just like, just seems very dangerous, bro. Like, he's a scary guy. He has the title Rampage for a reason. Jing gave Gon some good advice. Yeah, the enjoy the detours actually is a bar. Oh, like on Kite? Oh, yeah. He just told them to get stronger, right? That is true. Goku is a way better dad than Jing, though. Like OG Goku was in Dragon Ball Z. Garp is better than Goku. Goku's better than Jing in terms of being a dad. Garp, I don't know, it's debatable who's better between Garp and Goku. Those two are actually pretty close. The thing that like separates Garp from Goku is like Garp actually has a 9-to-5 job that like directly conflicts with his kids, and he's like hiding his children. So I don't know. I mean, Garp might actually be better. It's a debate. Goku is better than Garp for sure. They're actually pretty close. Like, I don't know. I think that could actually just be a full-fledged debate on its own. Who's a better dad between them? Is the real debate should be Jing and Mr. Show Up and Do Nothing, aka Dragon? Yeah, Jing versus Dragon is a debate. I'm saying, actually, I don't know. Is Jing better than Dragon? I mean, at the very least, Dragon's looking east, right? So, like, you got Mr. Looking East, and that's really it. I mean, I remember there was a theory that Dragon sent Kuma to Sabaody to help Luffy, but I think that got debunked in this flashback, right? Like, Kuma went there on his own, right? Garp left Luffy with a bunch of bandits to be raised. Let that sink in. Yeah, but he had to hide Luffy, bro. Like, he had to hide Luffy and Ace. Because, like, I mean, it's something I think about, right? Like, imagine if Garp tried to, like, raise them as Marines. Akainu's killing them both, for sure. That was something I thought about. Akainu is 100% smoking them. Like, am I right, man? Like, if he tried to bring them, to just train them like the same way he did with Kobe and Helmeppo, Garp's gonna fall asleep one day and then he's just gonna wake up with Akainu just like killing them both, bro. I'm like pretty sure that would happen. Garp chose the bag over his sons. I don't really think so, man. I don't know. Like, I don't think Garp really cares about money. Akainu would smoke him. Yeah, 100%, yeah. I actually think Garp's actions in Marineford are actually very well written, to be honest. Because, like, I know a lot of people dislike Garp for it. I could do a whole stream on that, like what Garp chose to do in Marineford was nothing. Like, because we see how strong Garp is right now. If he like chose to fight against pirates, there would have been like almost nothing the pirates can do. He would have wiped out a lot of the pirates by himself. Like, I would make the argument that Garp was stronger than Whitebeard at the time, because like they were rivals in their prime, but Whitebeard was sick and dying and Garp wasn't. So I would argue that like Garp was just stronger than Whitebeard at Marineford. He could have taken out Whitebeard on his own. That's like an idea that I've had for a while. He could have taken out Whitebeard on his own, and then like the admirals would just wipe everybody else out, and it would have just been like an overwhelming victory for the Marines. But Garp just chose to like actually do nothing. And he also like he let Luffy go past him to get up to the to like save Ace. There was a whole scene where he was standing in front of him and he just stood there and like let Luffy punch him. So he was like low key trying to save Ace in a way that it wouldn't like destroy the world order, because from the Marine side, like Garp is basically the pirate king for the Marines. Garp is basically like the Marines pirate king, bro. So like if he like freed a pirate, the son of the pirate king, bro, like that would throw the world out of order. And like he's very aware of that. Like Garp is similar to Luffy, but he's actually like pretty smart. So I don't know. I thought that Garp was very well written during the Marineford, honestly. Like I know a lot of people are saying like, oh no, he should have just crashed out from the beginning. He should have just joined Whitebeard's side. But like if he did that, like he would have thrown the world into chaos. Like pirates would have went crazy all over the world if they saw like, oh, Garp is a pirate. Like if you guys think about that, it's like they basically would have had a new pirate king. Imagine, because I think weren't they like showing the Marineford War on TV? Can you imagine like in the One Piece world if they see Garp like helping the pirates, people will be like, yo, is Garp a pirate now? We're cooked. We're like, the whole world would go crazy. I could do a whole stream on that. Garp actually took in others' kids. That's got to be taken into account. That's true too. I mean, he raised Ace the same way he raised Luffy. Sabo too. Nah, at least Jing left him with Mito. Garp left him with a bunch of bandits. But like the bandits he left him with were chill though. The bandits he left him with were chill. Like what isn't her name? Dodon? It's something like that. Like Dodon is like actually great. And I think Garp like understood that. You said, can you explain why Rayleigh watched his captain's son get killed? Yeah, what was Rayleigh doing actually? Was he just getting hammered, like watching Netflix with Shaggy? Like, did he just he stayed in Sabaody, didn't he? I'm trying to remember where Rayleigh was. Because, like, after the war, he meets up with Luffy, like, immediately. Where was Rayleigh, actually? Where was Rayleigh? Why didn't Rayleigh pull up? I actually don't remember. Like, I need to read that part again. Why didn't Rayleigh pull up? What was he doing? Was he just, like, asleep? Because I think he watched the war on TV. Maybe he just thought that, like, Whitebeard would win. Yeah, he was just watching it, wasn't he? Maybe he just thought that Whitebeard would win. I don't remember why he didn't go. I need to read that part again because, like, I just remember, like, what I remember is, obviously, like, if people aren't caught up with One Piece, there's about to be a bunch of spoilers, so that's the spoiler warning. But I remember Rayleigh saying, like, he cried when Whitebeard died, right? Isn't there, like, a panel where Rayleigh's crying after Whitebeard dies? And then there was, like, that's the one memory I have of Rayleigh, like, during the Marineford War. And then the next thing I remember, he, like, swims across the calm belt to see Luffy. Maybe he just, like, overslept, bro. Like, maybe, maybe Rayleigh, like, just got drunk in the middle of the day, woke up, and he's like, oh man, what I miss. And then he looks on TV, sees the Marineford War, sees Whitebeard dead, and he's like, I'm cooked. And then he just starts swimming. Maybe that's what happened, bro. That's the only explanation I can think of, man. Rayleigh got drunk in the middle of the day, passed out, woke up. He's like, hey, yo, what's going on? Sees Whitebeard dead on the TV screen. He's like, oh no, bro. And then just starts swimming. But no, maybe that is just a plot hole that was never explained. It's crazy because Oda has him show up. You like the live streams more than the videos? Yeah, Rayleigh was crying about seeing Whitebeard die. Yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta reread that part because it's like, why did he just sit back? Because I think I remember they show it on a map, like the distance between Sabaody and Marineford. I think Sabaody, Marineford, and like Enies Lobby make a triangle. Zoro wouldn't watch Luffy's son die. No way. True. That's true. Zoro would pull up. I mean, it seems like Rayleigh would pull up in character. Did you guys see the Oda made like a fan? He made fan art himself. I think it was like a random cover page where it was like a what if verse if Sabo had his memory. And it was like right when Akainu was about to like punch through Ace, Sabo just shows up and like kicks Akainu in the head. He just drew like a what if. Did any of you guys see that? It was actually sick. You could say the same for Gabon and Shanks. I mean, Shanks pulled up. He just got there late. So Shanks' excuse is he just got there late. And he was like stalling Kaido or something first. Gabon, he was all the way in Elbaf, man. Gabon might not have even seen what was going on. Because Elbaf is like very far away, like kind of the same as Wano. So I kind of give both of them a pass. But Rayleigh doesn't really have an excuse, bro. Like, I don't think he would have made that much of a difference. I don't think Rayleigh would have made that much of a difference, but he would have been able to do something for sure. But alright, guys. I think that's it for this stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I appreciate the views. I'm gonna get going to sleep. Appreciate the views in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.